Welcome to all you Raider fans from all points of the globe. We're inside the Raider Dome with the Coach Bradley Seals Show. Thank you to everyone who has talked to us and texted and mentioned to others that you've been watching the Coach's Show and actually enjoy the show. I look forward to the show every week whenever Raymond puts it on the Live Action Network channel, because I usually forget what I had said during the interview. So far I'm batting 1,000 on not saying anything too bad. Maybe some things not necessarily smart, but never inappropriate. Coach, during the fair, I predicted that you always play good during the fair. Jules Sumner was quite a handful.
Yeah, we knew it would be that kind of game. I mean, it was a 3-drive first half. I don't think many people's ever seen that. We had a 12-play touchdown drive. They went 15 plays and we went back 13 plays. Gave them the ball back with under a minute to go. It was a fast game. It was a physical game. Proud of the way our team played. I thought offensively we had the ball 4 times, scored 5. No, had the ball 5 times, scored 4. Defensively, after that long drive, we settled in, and they had one big play, but other than that, played well.
Yeah, I thought it was really well played game, and to have those sustained drives, I kept making the point in the booth, you can have no penalties and you can have no turnovers.
Right.
And everybody goes by that philosophy. You had to be happy with those 2 facts Friday night.
Well, I was. I knew that they were going to have a good defensive game plan. They did last year, and I knew it was going to be that kind of game. I knew if we found something, it was going to be 4 or 5 yards, not big chunk plays, and like you said, no penalties, no turnovers, and that's what that's when you got to execute your offense, and that's what we did last week.
Yeah, it went right along. I thought the officiating crew, I'll take my hat off to them, because they didn't make themselves a part of the show.
Right.
It was a great game. And do you think that it was officiated maybe a little bit so we could get back to the fair? Or, in my opinion, I didn't see anything go on that changed the game. I thought they called what was there, and both teams were very disciplined.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think you had 2 like teams, 2 similar styles, and typically with that type of play, you don't get a lot of holding calls and stuff like that. Everything's hitting so quick, so it's just the way the game is. And I think the referees probably saw it's a physical game. Let them play a little bit.
Your offensive line, the unsung heroes, a lot of people understand in this day and time they're a lot more educated on exactly what makes the big wheel hit the little one in football, and everybody understands more the importance of the offensive line. You have as good as I've seen in a long time. Talk about those guys.
The thing that we're proud of is the adjustments. That's where those 4 and 5 yards come, is when they adjust their defense and we're able to not say anything but call a play, and they know, okay, they've adjusted their defense, so now I'm going to adjust our blocking scheme. Same play, we just, it's a little different nuance in the scheme, and so that's what I think. I don't think there's been a defense that we've seen that our offensive line has not known how to attack it, how to block it. So the physical side is true. I mean, we're big, we're strong, but I think the mental side of it, I think, gets overlooked, and people might not really understand what's going on with that. So.
Absolutely, it is. It's a very skilled position as far as footwork and then intelligence. As they got older, 1 or 2 of my boys played offensive line, and you listen to a good offensive line coach, and I'm like, if they can pass this, they can pass algebra. It's so technical to make it work.
Yeah, when you start looking in the NFL and college, you don't realize how smart you have to be to play the offensive line at that level. And I think it starts with our center. Kale Temple's a 4.0 student, very smart, and he kind of leads the group.
Dang. You got to name the rest of them now.
Trey Michael McGee, I think he's probably around a 4.0. Jackson Jones, the big guy, he's getting offers. We got Caden Woodward and John Robert Durham, and then Zach Thomas at tight end. And Caden, you look at Caden, you don't know that he's starting on a 7-1, 318 by his looks, but he gets after it. We've been happy with him.
Oh, heck yeah. And I always name the tight end when talking about your offensive line because that's what he does so much. And it's a pleasure to watch it like that. Now let's say that was a great game. Hats off to Jules Sumner. But Friday night, Bogalusa. What do we know about them? I know we know what happened last year. Yeah. And you know what? You coming back to take back the belt.
Right. Yeah, well, it starts, with their quarterback. I mean, everybody around here knows how good he is.
Yep.
They've got a really good receiver, number 13. They've got a really good running back, linebacker, number 1. They're a good football team. They've played a tough schedule. You look at the record, that's an impressive record they have against the schedule that they've played.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough game for us.
Yeah. I think for the last 4 years, the quarterback's been considered one of the top in the state. I'd say top 10 in the state all 4 years as far as quarterbacks go.
Yeah, for sure.
He's really something to watch. They always have some good athletes, good linemen. I mean, Bogalusa hasn't been what they were in the 70s, 60s, 80s, but they still remember how, and they've got a great coach.
Yeah, Coach Crutchfield does a really good job for them. One thing, I've talked to him the last couple of years is he is an X and O scheme guy. He knows X's and O's as well as anybody you'll find. And people look at it like, well, he's got the quarterback, he's got, weapons and stuff, and he does, but they're coached up really well.
Right. Now, he's got a background in coaching. For those that don't know it, Coach Crutchfield carries a really impressive resume.
Yeah, he does. He won a couple state championships at South Plaquemines. Coached Leonard Fournette in high school. He's been several different places and been successful where he's been.
Yeah. Well, that makes for a blue ribbon head coach, that's for sure. Everybody always remembers that Bogalusa and Franklinton are big rivals. I don't know if they're going to be playing starting next year, but familiarity breeds contempt. Bogalusa and Pine are automatically rivals. You're in the same parish.
Right. Yeah, we've played them several times since I've been here. It's typically been good games, competitive. I think it'll be tomorrow night too.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow night is where you need to be. We'll be there, the Live Action Network 2023, and you can watch it live. Be sure to tell everybody that may not know, hey, you can watch that game. We run into people all the time that say, I hadn't been able to make it to a single game. My grandchild plays for such and such. But you can go back and watch it. It's recorded, and it'll be on there for eternity. But if you missed a game, you can sure go back and watch that. Now, Coach, you've got some impressive people on your coaching staff, but whenever we come back from this break, we're going to get to talk to one of those guys, Coach McKenzie. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're watching the Live Action Network 2023. We're back on the Live Action Network. We promised that we were going to do more than just talk about and compliment some of the guys on this coaching staff. We're going to get them on here so we can meet and talk to them, get more familiar, and so you can at home too. Right now we've got Coach Jason McKenzie. Welcome to the show, Coach. We've talked about the coaching staff some on some of the earlier shows, and always very complimentary. Coach is, because he counts on you guys, to do most of the heavy lifting. A lot of times the head coach is the one that's kissing babies and asking people for to buy signs. I think he's got some really good ones. You're the receivers coach. Oh gosh, man. I'm going to tell you how much of it is 8, 10, and 16, and how much of it is coaching. Those guys are talented.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, talk about that.
Well, I mean, your guys that you have out there make it easy to coach.
Yeah.
They know the drills. They go full speed in practice. I mean, it's 100%. So it makes it easy. My job easy. You know, and they help with the younger guys that haven't been here 3 or 4 years. So them setting an example goes a long way with the younger guys learning. It
really does. A lot of times you'll see where the older ones are, super starters, will be like, dude, get back. Don't ever come back up here. This is where the seniors are, But if they're reaching out and helping those younger ones, that's the perfect scenario.
Well, you got Preston. He's a senior. Yeah. He's going to be gone. So DJ's going to need that other guy to help him next year. So if he sets that good example and turns around and kind of babysits that guy to be that next guy to take the senior spots that's leaving, it's going to help us all out for next year.
Yeah, and then those guys coming up, how are they going to treat the ones below them like they were treated? So now, I've made a statement several times on the air, and maybe it's just a commentator's thing. You tell me if I'm right. I think Luke Spears feels absolutely comfortable throwing it to any of the number 8, number 10, number 16, even if they have somebody covering them.
Yes, sir, he does.
I'm telling you, because they fight for the ball.
You throw to those guys, and I think Luke's confident that they're going to make that catch.
Yeah. So many times I've seen where the receiver don't position himself like a basketball player would, and give himself the best opportunity to make a catch or be a defender. So look, Luke Spears is cool. I think he would do it anyway, but he'll throw it to one of those guys one-on-one. Now, talk a little bit about the speed aspect of it. Owens is as fast as anybody I've seen in a long time. Quantify that.
Well, I mean, he's just fast. I mean, he's going to outrun. I mean, it is. I mean, he's
no coaching in that.
Yeah, there's no coaching in that. I mean, he's going to make the guy miss, and then he's going to take it to the house. I mean, if he makes that little shifty move that he can do, and then he's got the speed to take it to the house.
Yeah. And well, I guess by quantify, I understand that. I meant, how fast is he compared to who? How fast is he compared to Derek Dillon? Knowing Derek Dillon's faster than anybody on earth.
I don't think it's probably comparable.
He had a 4.5 this summer.
Really?
Yeah, Derek was 4.4 in high school, so it's close. I don't know if
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. You don't have to be good as Derek Dillon to be good.
You do not.
No.
Because everybody that's ever played at Pine are second.
I think he's averaging like over 25 yards a touch. On the year.
Yeah.
Receiving and rushing.
And
he went over 1,000 yards last week. He's got like 1,070 yards.
Okay, and then obviously, what are your goals for this year? You kind of like a rushing yard mark that you're trying to reach this year?
I'm trying to get at least 900 yards rushing, but my most is to get 1,000 yards, all-purpose yards, and at least 11 touchdowns.
Right. Okay, now this is what I was thinking about before I got here. Talk a little bit about those numbers, both of you, that you have in your head, receivers, accumulated yards, even your passer, and rushing yards. That's interesting to me.
Well, I know that DJ's like in the top 5 in touches from New Orleans to the North Shore. Like I said, James James went over 1,000 yards. Luke, he's completion percentage is like 71% on the year. Pretty efficient offense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Your backs, where do they stand as far as their yardage, their touches, so on and so forth?
I know that Vaughn is averaging probably 130 yards in district, and I think up until maybe like last week, Aiden was leading the team in rushing. He didn't play the second half, but people don't realize that Aiden's leading the team in rushing. You got James, you got Vaughn, DJ Preston, and then Aiden's leading the team in rushing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've said to Clay Morgan in the booth, I said you could have a high school offense with a deep, pretty good line and feature him, even if you didn't have anything else.
Right.
I could say that about Johnson. I could say that about Owens. I could say that about DJ, and I could say that about 16. Oh, what a luxury, brother. What a luxury. The quarterback, is there any way to talk to me about, I mean, he's the coolest quarterback. So poised.
And probably the toughest kid.
Yeah.
I mean, the beating he took against Amite and come back Monday ready to go at practice, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you missed it, go back and look it up on Live Action Network and go frame by frame. I mean, he would actually still eye the receiver and go ahead and make the throw when he knew he was about to get crushed. I'm telling you, he can look down the barrel of a pistol now.
Yeah, he just has a full grasp of the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, completing 71% of the passes in high school, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you said something about the toughness that it takes to do that. And he's just part of the puzzle. You start, I told Clay Morgan, I said, when you start thinking, okay, this guy's my favorite, I said, wait till the next play and you'll change. As far as a philosophy of receivers, and then you're also the punting coach, talk a little bit about what's involved in being, scratch the first question, what's involved in being a punting coach?
Well, this year we hadn't had to punt a lot.
No,
so, I mean, with the offense that we
all.
have, I mean, how many punts do we have?
4?
8, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's like 8.
It's not a
Yeah.
lot, you know. The biggest thing, I guess, you know, the one against Amite we'd like to have back, and that's probably just getting the ball off a little bit quicker. But, you know, we hadn't had a lot of work this year punting, and when your offense, the way we get it going, we don't need a punter a lot
Now,
of times.
you're with punter in high school.
Yes, sir.
I know I've got an opinion that's been out there for years. Number one, between the punter and the kicker, who's the athlete?
I'd say the punter.
It's the punter.
It's the punter.
You look through history, high school, college, whatever. He was the punter in high school. If he's got any length or what have you. Here's the thing that I say. Put all the numbers into a computer. Put all of the numbers of your defensive players and then the numbers of your punter, and have it work out who's the most important player on defense. And if you're punting a lot, I'll bet the punter is.
Yeah.
Because he throws them for a loss every time. He might throw them for a loss to the 20 or to the 5.
I had a coach tell me one time, because you know some people want to take their better players off special teams.
Gosh.
And they said, if you knew an offense or defense was going to result in 20 yards, would you 20 yards for you, 20 yards against you? Would you put your best players out there? Well, the obvious answer is yeah. That every special teams play is that punt, kick. You know, it's going to be the difference in 20 yards. So,
Absolutely. It's a big play. A notable alumnus and also a sponsor of our show, Lane Thomas. He coached at Clemson, Florida. He was a strength coach before he became a multi-millionaire. Oh, I asked him one time, I said, what do you think? He asked me, what's the most exciting play in football? I said, I don't know, interception. He said, the punt. He said, because so many things could happen on that punt. I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we've got a board that we chart, we hang in our locker rooms right over there, what we get, and one of them is special teams. Do we win special teams every week?
Yeah. If you got somebody can get down there and cover, and look, you can go back and watch the old films. I bet I've said 3 times this year, one thing I like about the philosophy under Coach Bradley, he puts starters out there on the coverage teams. And that's huge. I mean, how many times have you heard a coach say, I don't know, he hadn't been looking too good in practice or something. He might just play special teams this year. Wow. I've always thought it's one play that's the Hail Mary, whatever you want to call it. And, hey, I have that same philosophy. And the guys go out there, and I think on your team, they really compete to see who can excel in that. Is that something that you've noticed?
Well, we preach that. I mean, I told them today watching film, I said, who's the one mark of a good team is watch how fast their kickoff team gets down the field to cover the kick.
Yeah.
To this date, who we've played that's done it the best? Amy.
Yeah. So, Caden Stogner is good at it.
Yeah, he probably leads our team in special teams tackles.
Yeah, if everything goes right, he grows. I think he could play special teams in the NFL, man. I mean, he's just that good. Anyway, Coach McKenzie, thanks a lot for joining us on the set. Along with Coach Bradley Seal, thank you for watching. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Watch and see who the sponsors are, and please support them because they have stepped up and allowed us to be able to do that. For Raymond Williams, our executive producer, RC Photographics, I'm Mr. Positive Jeff McKelvin saying, till next time, go Raiders.